Well, today we're gonna go drive around the fields and see how everything looks. It's December 26th and we just got about 2 inches of rain over Christmas Eve and Christmas, so the field's gonna be pretty wet. And before this rain, we had like a month from Thanksgiving to Christmas of just cold fog, which we haven't had in years. And what's happening is, specifically with the mandarins, they're starting to drop fruit from this extended cold period. And we're gonna go take a look at that. So here we are in our organic mandarin field. These are tangos. And there is some drop, oh, quite a bit of drop, but it actually doesn't look as bad as the field right down the road. That one, I noticed it a couple days ago driving by, and it just looks like an orange carpet under some of those trees. Yeah, there is drop. I mean, obviously we don't want any fruit to drop. So this is, it's not bad, but it's not good. And what we're hearing is it's happening everywhere. Well, with organic mandarins, it's happening everywhere. Because in conventional farming, they have this thing called 2,4-D, which is an herbicide. It's like Roundup, but a little different. And they'll actually spray that herbicide on the fruit, and that reduces the fruit drop. Organic, you can't do that, obviously. So we get more fruit drop than conventional, but that's just part of farming. Obviously not all the fruit's dropping, but we're probably a month out from picking these. There's still some green, you can see. Still some green on them, so they're not full color yet. Brix, actually, you know what? Let me test the bricks right now. So, well, internal color looks good, and Brix was 12, which is pretty good. They'll get a little sweeter over the next month before they're picked. So the confusing part about the fruit drop we're having is these trees are really healthy. We did sap samples a couple months ago, and well, pretty much everything's in the green. Our nitrogen conversion efficiency is like 96, 97%, which is really high. The sap Brix was above 10, and the sap Brix is basically how nutrient dense is the sap. The sap is like the blood of the tree. So the higher number, the better, the more vitamins and minerals are in the sap. And ours was 10, which is on the high end. So we have really healthy trees, but they're dropping fruit. So, that's the next mystery to solve. So I wanted to stop real quick and take a look at how the cover crops are doing. Here are the first cover crops I planted. I did it before the first rain of the year, and the natural grass was actually outgrowing our cover crops, but it looks like the rain actually kind of matted it down. So hopefully our cover crops will get some sun and grow a little bit. And then after that, I wanted to try something new where I would mow and cultivate that natural grass cover in the row, and then plant the cover crops right after that. So you don't have that grass competing with the cover crops. And that's what I did here. And it does look a little better. You don't have all that grass. The downside is all the tillage you're doing, but most of this is cover crops, what I planted. So, but because it's been cold over the winter, they're not growing fast. They'll start growing faster in February once the days get longer and the temperature warms up. So we'll have to come back then and see how it goes, and then we'll make a decision on when do we mow these. You know, if the grass comes back and takes over, then are we gonna have to mow this before because the cover crops aren't providing anything because they're being outshaded? So that's a decision for another day. Now, these are our TIs, which is an early variety of navels, and they're about ready. They could probably be picked now, but there's still some fruit in the middle of the tree that has some green on it, so we would like to wait a week or two just to make sure they color up nice and we're not throwing them away because they're not all orange yet. Even though they taste the same, you know, if you see an orange in the store that's green, you're not gonna buy it. But, so they taste good, they're ready to go. We'll see what bricks they've got. $11.3. So it's pretty good. On to the next stop. Now these are our caracaras, and they're not quite ready. Probably another 2 weeks or a month because there's a lot of green ones on the inside of the tree. Over the last 3 years, these trees have been growing great crops, and it looks like we're gonna get another great crop. So a great thing to show you after a rain are all the puddles. So there's, you know, it rained a lot, got a lot of puddles, and as you can see on the driveway, we've got standing water. Well, in the field, there's not much standing water, and that is because of all the weeds. So the weeds with their roots create channels and open up the ground for water to penetrate into the soil. And not only is that good for the soil health, but we don't lose all that water to evaporation. It stays in the soil, so then the trees can use it in the spring whenever they start to grow again. Here are some gold nuggets. They aren't selling really well or at all, so yeah, we don't know what we're gonna do with them this year. And so here we are in one of our organic pomelo fields. This is actually our oldest organic pomelo field. Not the trees, but the organic. These have been farmed organically for the longest amount of time. And this field also produces the best tasting fruit. Now, we haven't picked any of this fruit yet this season. We started with another field just because of the sizing. This field we're gonna be getting to pretty soon, and well, let's see how they taste. So first thing we wanna look for is the top. Oh, look at that, great color. That is nice. So, as you notice, there's a little, the fruit has thick skin. This is common for pomelos, but this field is hoping it'd be a little thinner. Oh wow, it's actually really good. Let me see how much sugar is in there. Ooh, got a lot of juice. What does that say? 10. Oh, I thought it'd be a lot higher than that. Well, they got plenty of juice, so that may be what's diluting the sugar. It tastes great, so be on the lookout for those in January and February. Okay, one last stop over here I want to look at are young Kara trees. We're starting to get heavy crops on them. So let's see how they taste. Now obviously, you know, same as the other Kara field, there's still some green on it, so they're not quite ready to be picked, but I'd say another month and they'll be definitely they'll definitely be ready to pick in terms of color, but also sugar should be really sweet by then. Actually, let's go see how much sugar's in these. And thrip, I almost forgot, this last year was a bad thrip year. We don't have a lot of thrip damage, so we'll see if that's industry-wide or just us. Internal color's good, it's sweet. Let's see. How much juice? Oh, there's a lot of juice. 10.6, so also pretty good. And our Washingtons look great this year, and you know, last couple of years they've been doing really good, really sweet, getting good crops. We've been improving our crop size every year by, you know, 5–10%, and it's still climbing. So we think we're on track to getting these trees producing pretty well. Anyways, these Washington trees look really good from the ground. Now, I want to see what they look like from the air. So let's get the drone out. All right, let's go up. So I remember the controls. Oh, you'll be able to see how I planted every other row of cover crops. Look pretty good. Oh, look at all those oranges. Well, looks like there's a good crop from the top of the tree, but that's usually where the thrip like to live, so hopefully we don't have a lot of thrip damage up there that we can't see from the ground. These trees are going to be picked first of the Washingtons, and they also look like they've got a great crop on the tree. So in our tangos, we got a few spots where the trees aren't doing too well, but it's only on one side. Over on the other side, the trees are doing great. So we just need to figure out, how do we get a better crop? If the trees are perfectly healthy, what do we need to do to show that in the crop? Because it has all the nutrients, it has everything it needs. Why isn't it growing more fruit? So let's see, got now these are older Washingtons. These trees are planted in the 80s and they are still doing great. Yeah, look at all those oranges. Now let's fly over. I gotta look out for this plane now. Oh, you can kind of see an example of the pipe. Look at this. Okay, so water infiltration. This dirt lot on the right, see how there's a lot of standing water, and then there's that grass lot on the left where there's no standing water, but there's natural grass and weeds. So this kind of shows the difference between conventional farming and organic farming. On the right, no weeds, bare dirt, that's your conventional field. On the left, that's your organic field. You know, by tasting the fruit, you might not be able to tell the difference, but looking at that field, which plot of land, that right or left, would you rather have your food grown on? So that's a good picture right there. Oh yeah, let's see it. Look at the top of this tree right here. So you can see from this camera right here, you got a wall of oranges right here, which usually happens on the outside tree. But if we go to the top and you look down, there's a lot of oranges up there in the top too. And then on the inside, the back side of the tree, which you're not seeing here, or you're not seeing from this camera, but you're seeing from the drone, there's oranges there too. And then if you go all the way around the other side, look at that. That's what you want to see. So now, see if I can get a look from the top. Now, there is oranges down in there, not a lot. Those are the ones that take a while to turn orange, but they'll get there eventually. Okay, let me figure out the controls on this.